Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I've been hearing from a bunch of you that my recent videos aren't popping up in your feed the way they used to. YouTube's algorithm can be a bit moody, so the best way to make sure you never miss an upload is to turn on all notifications for the channel. Here's how to double check yours. It only takes a few seconds. On your phone, in the YouTube app, tap my channel name under any of my videos, or search for it. Just to the right of the subscribed button, you'll see a bell icon. Tap the bell and select All. That tells YouTube to ping you every time I go live or drop something new. On your desktop, within YouTube's website, head to my channel page. Hover over or click the bell icon next to the subscribed button. Choose All Notifications. Here's a pro tip. Make sure notifications are enabled on your device settings too. If they're blocked at the phone's operating system level, YouTube can't push them through. Thank you for taking a moment to do this. Your support means everything. And with the bell turned on, you'll be the first in line whenever I post. See you in the next video. I'm an affair baby. Well, not really. But at the time my father was on break with his wife, he hooked up with my mom a couple times, and she became pregnant with me. Around the same time, my father's wife was pregnant with Cecile. Cecile and I are both 19. My father's family don't really care for me, and neither does my dad. He basically just pays child support, and I see him twice a month. They see me as a mistake who put a blemish on their perfect family. Cecile dislikes me. Her mom is indifferent. We live in a smaller city and attended the same schools, and she has a mean girl persona towards me. Makes comments when I pass by, flirt with my boyfriends, shuns me from her friend group, etc. Cecile is also very beautiful. She's easily the prettiest girl in our city, and people are shocked when they learn she's my sister. I'm currently attending a university nearby, and so is Cecile. A lot of people from our hometown come over here. I hit it off with Jonathan around 5 months ago, and we've been dating since. Cecile saw me with Jonathan, and I introduced them. I thought that was it. Around a month ago, we had spring break. Jonathan traveled with me to my hometown, and we went to my dad's house, and Cecile and our cousin were there. We all started drinking, and I drank a little too much and passed out. I was awoken by my cousin in a panic. Turns out, she had passed out too, woke up and heard giggling from my sister's room. She walks into my sister and boyfriend having S. They scrambled, started to get dressed, but she ran down to awaken me. When I walked in, I saw that my sister was wearing her underwear and had mistakenly grabbed my boyfriend's t-shirt. That in itself made me want to throw up. I flipped out, woke up the whole house, and was crying and screeching so hard that the cops came as all this happened in the early morning. My mom had to come get me because I was inconsolable. Apparently, after she met him, she saw him on campus, got his snap, and started talking. Hundreds of flirtatious messages. My sister's explanation was that she has never had such a strong connection with someone. My ex-boyfriend said that he thought I could resist the feeling, but once he was drunk, he couldn't any longer, and after that, he was sure that he loved her. My dad's response was almost a shrug. He says things like this happen, and that love is hard when you're young. My sister insists that my reaction was over the top, and our grandma has messaged me to basically get over it because we're sisters. I have now gone low contact with my dad, no contact with my sister, but I'm still terribly hurt by the betrayal. And the worst part is that they're now dating. Am I the a-hole for freaking out? Not the a-hole. Your family have extremely low standards and expectations of how relationships and feelings work. Not surprised your dad is unsympathetic, considering he cheated on his pregnant wife prior. You didn't overreact. Not only were you were betrayed by family. That makes the hurt 10 times worse. Not the a-hole at all. Sister and ex are two big a-holes. You're better off without them in your life. Not the a-hole. I think you need to reset expectations when it comes to Cecile though. She's just someone you happen to be related to. There's no relationship between you. She's just another mean girl. Your ex is the biggest a-hole for cheating on you like that. And he'll most likely cheat on Cecile at some point too. The real winner here is you. Who wants to date someone like your ex? He's no prize. Cecile is settling for an utter pleb. You can do better. I, 35 female, have recently got engaged to my long-term partner, 36 female, and we've been planning our wedding. Our families are very happy for us, and they are excited for the big day. The issue comes with my dad. When I was 16, he and my mom divorced because he had been cheating for 2 years, and he got engaged to his mistress only a year later. The divorce was incredibly unfair, and my mom was left with barely anything. Only 2 months after the engagement was announced, my mom sadly passed away due to a heart attack. She had no previous heart problems and worked as a personal trainer for many years, so it seemed obvious that the stress of the divorce followed by me moving away to college was to blame. When my dad started planning his wedding to his girlfriend, he told me that he wanted a small ceremony. He would not be inviting me or my sisters, 4 and 6 years older. This really hurt, although our relationship had been strained since the divorce, and I had made it clear that I did not like his new girlfriend, as she was always talking crap about my mom. I thought that we still had a good relationship. 18-year-old me was not as confident as I am now, so I just accepted it and moved on. Fast forward to last week, when my partner and I went to a family dinner with my dad, his wife, and my sisters and their families. The conversation moved towards my wedding, and when my dad asked when we were sending invitations out, I laughed and said that I hadn't been invited to his wedding, so why would I invite him to mine? The room went dead silent, and my dad excused himself. My partner and I quickly settled up our end of the bill and went home. Since then, my dad, stepmom, and sisters have been blowing up my phone, saying that I'm being selfish and petty, and my dad wanting a small wedding had nothing to do with whether or not I should invite him to my big wedding. My partner is supportive, and my friends think I'm doing the right thing, as my relationship with my dad and his wife has never improved since my mom passed away. So having them at my wedding when my mom doesn't get to be there would feel like a betrayal. I don't know what to do for the best. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your dad could have had the world's smallest wedding, but his children should still be invited. Unless your dad and his bride were the only 2 people at the wedding, he had no genuine reason to exclude you. For a small wedding, your children are the first invited, then siblings and parents, then friends. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. I don't care how small a wedding your dad and his wife wanted. If you weren't included because there wasn't room, nobody should have been a priority over you and your siblings. I, 26 female, am getting married this year. My fiancé and I have had a fairly long engagement period, primarily to save for our wedding and to get our dream venue. Our venue has a long waiting list, and when we were finally able to book, we had to pay a pretty steep non-refundable deposit. My family, father, stepmother, and 17-year-old stepsister, who I'll call Jane, have known about our wedding date from the moment we finally booked it. My sister and I are really close. She was 4 and I was 13 when our parents got married. I've never really viewed her as just my stepsister, but as my actual little sister. Now, Jane has a gift for music. She has played the piano since she was 5 and plans on studying music. I've always supported Jane in this. About 2 weeks ago, she was notified that she had been selected for a truly incredible opportunity regarding her music. I don't want to say what it is for the sake of privacy, but it really is huge. The issue? It conflicts with my wedding. My stepmother, who for reference, I've never gotten along with, contacted me with the news. I told her to congratulate Jane for me and said that while I'll be extremely sad about her missing the wedding, I understand her taking this opportunity completely, and I'm happy for her. My stepmother then freaked out at me, asking why I wasn't just going to change the date. I explained that getting our venue had taken us a long time, and we'd already paid a very hefty deposit for several $1,000s. Changing it was probably not going to be able to happen unless we changed our venue and took the financial loss. My stepmother continued to yell at me about valuing family over money, and I told her I would look into the venue's policy on changing the date. I can't reschedule it, I checked. I met up with Jane on the weekend and explained it to her. Jane told me she understood and was willing to skip her opportunity to be there. I told her she didn't have to do that, but she said she would be far more upset missing my wedding than her music thing. We hugged it out, and I told her I'd make it up to her. I thought that was that. It was not. Last night, my stepmother called me and called me all sorts of horrific things, including slurs. For reference, I'm a lesbian. And said that I was just being nasty to Jane because I don't think of her as my real sister. She informed me that she, my father, and Jane will not be attending my wedding. I texted Jane, who assured me she really was okay with what we'd discussed, and she had no idea her mom had called me. My dad says I should just suck it up and change the date, so I don't upset my stepmother more. I don't know what to do. If I could change it, I would. My fiancé has been on my side the whole time, agreeing she does not want it to change. Am I the a-hole? I feel like maybe I'm being selfish here by choosing to keep my dream venue and not lose the deposit. Not the a-hole. How did Jane end up being an oasis of sanity in the sea of crazy that is your dad and stepmother? I wonder if stepmom truly believes in valuing family over money. She'll pay for you to change the date. And your dad is truly an a-hole if he doesn't go to your wedding for this. For me, that would be a relationship ender. Jane is 17 years old, if I did my math right, old enough to decide what she wants. Personally, if the opportunity is that huge, I would encourage her to take it. Musical opportunities don't come by every day. That being said, you are not the a-hole for not being willing to lose thousands of dollars to appease your stepmother. If she wants you to change the date so bad, she can pay you back the deposit you'd lose, and only if you're willing to change the date. Your dad needs to stop letting his wife mistreat his daughter. Not the a-hole, but your stepmother is, big time. The solution is simple. Stepmom takes her daughter to the once-in-a-lifetime musical opportunity, and they participate as possible via video conference. Dad attends your wedding and participates in daughter's musical competition by video conference as possible. Done and done. I would push your sister harder to attend her opportunity if it really is that big a deal. I, 34 female, found a pair of sunglasses on my kitchen table. My son, 11, immediately claimed they were his friends, even though it was pretty obvious they were an adult woman's. Even after the story began to fall apart, him and his father continued to lie. My youngest son, 9, ended up identifying the sunglasses. When he got home, my husband admitted they were Noelle's. She's been over there while I was at work. My husband has not realized they were hers. He thought they were mine, which is why he didn't move them. My older son realized whose they were immediately, which is why he lied about them. He knew I was about to find it all out and was trying to cover. My younger son recognized them because apparently they have gone with Noelle numerous places on my husband's days off while I was at work. I don't know what he told my older son, but he told my youngest not to tell me about Noelle and her son hanging out with them because I would feel bad about being left out because I was at work. I returned the glasses to Noelle, who seemed horrified. She was under the assumption I knew about their hangouts. I asked her why did she think I would be okay with this. She looked really confused and told me why would I care if we were separated anyway. I told her we absolutely were not separated. We were very much still together. Apparently, my husband told her we had not been together except cohabiting and co-parenting for months now. I confronted my husband with this information, and he didn't deny it. He apologized but said he had developed feelings for Nicole, but didn't want to risk our marriage until he knew if it were true feelings or just attraction. He left the house. Noelle wants nothing to do with him because now she knows the truth. He lied to her as well, and she's furious. I'm speaking to a lawyer today. I'm not going to speak to him again except through lawyers, since I don't have anything else to say to him. I can imagine you'd have so many questions to ask him and your sons. I'd be wanting to use this as an opportunity to teach the boys what not to do in a relationship for when they're older. I hope you can eventually find peace and forgiveness so that you can move forward. Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise, and you meet a true gentleman who is worthy of your love. Listen, as an adult who found themselves having to cover for their father's transgressions at a young age, please put the blame where it should be. A child of 11 will do anything in their power to keep the peace and keep their parents together. It makes them feel like they have some power, which makes them feel safe. Please do not further parentify your son as your husband has already done, by making him a player in this situation. This is not the time for conversations about lying and right and wrong. That can come later. My suggestion, speak to your sons and apologize that they had to be involved at all, and tell them that you and your husband love them no matter what. Wow, he's awful. You're doing the right thing. To ask your kids to lie to you is the lowest of the low. At least now you can go to bed at night in peace, knowing that you've taken out the trash. Our 47-year-old daughter hates her ex. The divorce was 6 years ago. They all live in Washington State, and we live in San Diego. The father was awarded primary custody, and the parenting evaluation listed her dishonesty and non-compliance as reasons. She frequently tells us how much she hates her ex and having to share custody. Recently, the kids, 12 and 10, had a week-long group trip planned in San Diego that would be happening while they were with their father. They asked if they could stay at our house so that they could see us too. Obviously, their father would also be staying in our home. We said yes. We had a brief visit recently when they were in San Diego, and their dad dropped them off to us for a few hours. Our daughter knew about that and was fine with it. But now that she found out her ex-husband would be staying at our house, she has told us she wants no further contact with us, and we will not see the grandkids while they are on her time. We are in our 70s and just want to see the grandkids whenever we can and they want. They aren't our grandkids only when it's her time or his time. She considers this trip a betrayal and a bad message to the kids that we condone all the bad things her ex has ever done. Are we the a-holes? Not the a-hole. The way your daughter is reacting kind of explains the loss of custody. Sorry to say that. Not the a-hole. And your daughter wonders why she doesn't have primary custody. She needs to grow up and learn to co-parent effectively for the kids. Whatever issues she has with her ex has nothing to do with the children. Not the a-hole. I'm sorry, but your daughter sounds toxic as duck. The fact that the judge gave him primary custody speaks volumes. Having a good relationship with him means you're behaving, number one, as adults, and number two, in the best interest of your grandchildren. Your daughter can't or purposefully won't see that. The only bad message being sent here is from her. I, 24 female, took a DNA test last month, and it came back that I had 96% Chinese in my results. My mom is Chinese, and my dad is Korean, but there was no Korean in the test. I know these tests aren't specifically accurate, but I thought it was interesting and shared it with my mom. Intended to also share it with my dad. My mom got really nervous and told me not to share it with him yet. I wasn't sure why, but agreed, and last week she gave me the details of a sperm bank she had used. She told me when she was trying to conceive, but she couldn't, and my dad blamed her. She said he was infertile but refused to get himself checked, believing it wasn't possible he was sterile. His parents, my grandparents, tried to get him to divorce her, and my mom had very little formal education or way to support herself, got herself pregnant via a sperm donor. I know my dad wouldn't be the type of man who would believe he was at fault for something, and my grandparents don't like my mom anyway, so they probably were happy she can't conceive. I asked her if my sister was also a sperm donor, and she confirmed she was, but not the same one. I was shocked by the news, but not super upset about it. My parents are good to me, and I feel loved. The dates lined up to when I probably was conceived, and the documents look authentic and old, but there's no real way to prove what my mom said is true. Assuming it is, would I be the a-hole for not telling my dad? I don't think it's a betrayal of him seeing as my mom used a sperm donor, and she is still a great wife to him. But in our culture, if the children isn't the father's, even if it's via a sperm donor, knowing it or not, it's a big deal. Passing on your line to your genetic children is always preferred to even adoption. I'm less sure about my sister. She's 4 years younger than me, 20 female, how she will take the news. I want to tell her, but I don't know how she will respond. Not the a-hole. Actually, you would be the a-hole for telling him, and this could even place your mother in danger. What she just disclosed to you is a history of aggression. Her husband blaming her for infertility, refusing to get checked out, though as it turns out, the problem probably was his, and leveraging his family against her and threatening divorce because she couldn't magically impregnate herself. Not the a-hole, and do not tell him. Honestly, he and your grandparents sound ducking horrible. I feel for your mom and the situation she was in. Give her a hug. Also, your sister might tell. Unless you are willing to take that risk, I would probably keep this conversation between you and mom. Not the a-hole. Protect your mom. Lock those papers up where your dad will never find it.